everybody, today we're going to make vegan peanut butter cookies from Blissful Basil. So the first ingredient you'll need is actually optional to add a flax egg or an EnerG egg. So I'm using EnerG Egg Replacer, and it's 1 1/2 teaspoon of this mixture plus 2 tablespoons of water, and I showed that last week with the banana bread, which by the way is the best. I've made it 3 times, so I hope you'll make the banana bread also. So what you do is when you add the 2 tablespoons of water to the 1 1/2 teaspoon of EnerG Egg Replacer, you can let that sit. Or you could use ground flax, which is 1 tablespoon ground flax and 3 tablespoons water. Okay, so that's the first thing you can do, and let that sit. The recipe doesn't call for it, but I found that they actually bond together a little better if you have that. So it's up to you. You can try it without. And then of course we have peanut butter, and Costco sells these awesome large jars of organic peanut butter with, no sugar or extra oils added. So it's a lot of peanut butter, and therefore there is no oil or vegan butter to the recipe because the oil in the peanut butter is the oil. And if you can't do peanuts, you could do almond butter, and if you can't do almonds or nuts, you could do sesame seed butter, which is also great. Okay, then we're going to add in some sugar. There is sugar in this recipe. So there's a cup of brown sugar along with a cup of peanut butter. There's really only 6 ingredients in this, 7 if you choose to add the extra vegan egg. And then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of vanilla, which I also get from Costco. I want to give it a good shake. Okay. And then we will mix these ingredients along with our vegan egg. And we'll do the wet ingredients together. So I've let that sit for about 5 minutes. And again, that's just optional. You can try it both ways like I did and see which way you like it better. Okay. Now we're going to blend these together. We're going to set that aside, and we're going to do our dry ingredients. So it calls for 2/3 or 1 cup of oat flour. You can just grind your own if you're gluten-free oats in a blender. You can buy it already made from Bob's Red Mill. I just always use Bob's Red Mill gluten-free all-purpose baking flour for all my cookie recipes, and for me it's worked out lovely. So I'm not using 10 different kinds of flours all the time for my baking. So we're going to add the flour, and we're going to add in 1 teaspoon baking soda. Last week baking powder, this week baking soda, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay. We're going to mix those ingredients together just with your little spoon, and then we will add them to the wet ingredients, and then the optional, which I use, is 1/4 of a cup of almond milk. You could also use water. This is the homemade almond milk recipe on my channel, and we will add that as we add in the flour to give it a little bit of moisture. So I'm just going to start with about half and add 1/4 a cup of unsweetened almond milk. You could really do any plant milk you like. All right, here we go. And then we'll add the other half. That looks good. And as always, I will put a link to the recipe at Blissful Basil. These are called soft and tender peanut butter cookies. So now you can get your hands dirty. You can also eat the dough because there's no eggs. There's no risk of salmonella, which is always good. So you can get your hands dirty. If you want to zoom in here, just give it a final mix with your hands. We got it really well with the blender, so I think we're doing good. Here's a few little pieces of flour. Smells amazing. And then you can just roll it into a ball. I love my little cookie scoop that I got at Ralph's Kroger store. And you can just make little balls, put them on your cookie sheet, preheat your oven at 350, and you're going to cook them for 8 to 10 minutes. Now they cook fast. Whoops, that didn't make it. So I recommend starting with 8 and checking them, okay, instead of going, because they do bake really fast. So we'll do a couple more here for you, but you can see how easy it is if you use the scoop. And I definitely recommend adding the almond milk. That was optional, but I think it helps keep it together too. All right, so I'll keep going. I'm going to bake them at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes, and I'll see you when they're done. Okay, we're back with some amazing vegan peanut butter cookies. So here they are. I wanted to add, once you roll them, you can add the fork mark. You can also add it in the middle of baking, which is what I did, and then it doesn't stick to the fork so much. So this batch made 17 cookies, and you can see decent sized cookies. So I hope you enjoy them. You can have them with a glass of the homemade almond milk. And thank you always for joining us and for saving animals with your food choices. Have a great week.